Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Welcome to Scarlets Fever, the home of Saucepan Central and Westerer is Besterer. Hello and welcome to a very special bonus edition of Scarlets Fever with me, Lee G. Joining me as always, Hugh and Big M. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
Good afternoon. Excited for this special episode.
See, you can't just say hello, can he? You can't just say, he just can't do, you always got to be a little something, isn't he?
It's a talking format, Lee, for God's sake.
Well, it is a special episode today, and it's very happy to introduce today's guest, Ex Scarlet, now current Edinburgh prop, a legend, Javan Sebastian. Afternoon, Javan. How are things, mate?
Hi, guys. All right. Yeah, really good.
Excellent. See, he's got the Edinburgh top on already, boys. It's like
just
yeah, it's just a reminder. Like I'm not a Scarlet anymore. But so, how is life up in Edinburgh? Is it cold up there? Is it as cold as we all think it is?
I don't think it's that cold. But if you ask my partner how cold it was, yeah, she'd say it was very cold because every day I get too cold. It's too cold.
And how's life treating you up there, mate? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's great. You know, you could have asked for a better bunch of players to come to a club too. It's so welcoming. Yeah, side of things really good, and the kids settled in, just settled down, made some new. So good.
Okay, onto the playing field now. 5th in the URC. You've had 1 win, 1 loss in Europe so far. You actually got to try against Plymouth. I've got the video clip of that to put alongside this, so that'll be good. It's a cracking season. What you would ask? What's your take on it so far? Are you hitting achievement? Are you exceeding expectations?
So I think we're just taking every game as it comes. With regards to this comp that we're in now, the tough games come on. They were very physical, very awful. Yeah, we took a lot of learning from that game and tried putting it forward into the URC season. We've come up with some good wins and put us in a good place for the season.
Yeah, so Javan, we're really interested to learn kind of what the difference is, whether it's a cultures stuff or different approaches to training or what have you, that you've experienced, that you've gone from Scarlets to Edinburgh, maybe stuff you weren't expecting or something that's taken you by surprise, perhaps.
Just little things, really. Like obviously a different culture, different group of boys, different coaching staff. One thing I'd take was coming to this club. Everybody's welcoming. You go in every morning, you shake everyone's hand. You really engage with everyone, so you feel more of a team. Even from like the academy boys right down to the S&C coach, you say morning to everybody. So as a culture, I think that's where they've taken a step forward.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's interesting, that is where you talk about, building the team, because that's something that we've been obviously talking about in the Scarlets thing. How important is that to the performance that you put on the park, mate?
Oh, totally, 100%. Like you can see that. Well, I feel like playing with Edinburgh, everybody's got each other's backs. If one guy makes a mistake, it's not that guy's mistake, it's a whole team performance. So as is with Scarlets, I feel like it was more individuals. Not to throw anyone under the bus or anything, but that's how I felt.
No, that's good, and it's good to be honest with these things, because that's how people learn, isn't it? So cool. Yeah.
So we've spoken about your little differences between Edinburgh and Scarlets. Is there anything in particular you miss from your time at the Scarlets? I mean, obviously you were around for the Pro 12 winning season and the semi-final and Heineken after. So what are your fondest memories? What do you miss from the club?
My time at Scarlets, the group of boys itself, and when I was there, like they were so welcoming. When I went there, it was quite kind of similar to when I'm up here. So just the group of players, like individuals, like we had a lift club every day to work. Miss that. Yeah, miss just hanging out with the boys, having a coffee, having a laugh. Yeah, little things like that. And then obviously, Scarlets have got a good fan base, so the crowd, when we're winning, really gets behind you. So yeah, that was good.
So, how different is it? At the minute, being a Scarlets fan is quite difficult, and there are quite a few Scarlets fans that getting on players' backs. And as a player, when you run out on the pitch, how much of a difference does that make to you, knowing that the crowd have got your back, sort of thing?
Oh, it's massive. When you go out and you hear the crowd behind you, even when you're tired or you're fatigued or you feel a little low energy, the crowd making noise and like cheering your team on really gives you a burst of energy, and it does pick players up. I think the fans with the Scarlets have just got to stick by them, and eventually wins will start coming. But yeah, it makes a massive difference, especially like here up in Edinburgh. No matter if we win or lose, I think the crowd is pretty loud, and it keeps the boys going. So
Javan, obviously Scottish international now. What was your kind of biggest takeaway? What surprised you the most about going from club level to international level? What was the biggest difference for you?
A lot more running, I'll tell you that. I don't know. Just the professionalism of it all is day and night. It's like semi-pro. You train up on a Tuesday and Thursday, and you play rugby. Yes. But the level of professionalism you've got to show big national. Even when you're with the club, it's like the things you don't get seen. So you're working hard in the gym, you're doing extras on the field, you're putting your hand up for selection, not just to your club coaches, but to international coaches as well.
And do you enjoy that level? Is it the expectation is higher and all of that kind of stuff? Is that enjoyable?
Yeah, it is. It drives you, and like having a taste of international level, it just makes you want more and more, and especially when like a young family you're trying to provide for and like bring up, it really motivates you to give more.
I remember when Samson Lee first went to international rugby, he talked about how his first experience of an international scrum with the opposition pack and then international second rows behind him, he felt like he was going to break in half. Was it that much of a step up for you, or were you like, no, I feel like I can hold my own in this environment?
Yeah, yes and no. It is a step up from semi-pro, and then it's another step up to playing professional rugby. And then I wouldn't say it's too much of a jump from professional to then playing international, especially if you've had a few scrums in the professional career. You kind of build yourself up for it. And yeah, you could say it was more technical international than it is professional.
Cool. And for obviously when we as casual fans watch the international games or the professional games, the scrum is often a big talking point. For you as a professional prop, what would you say is one thing that a casual fan can look out for at a scrum? Like if you were saying, watch out for this at this scrum, and you'll get an idea of who's on top, what's going on.
I'd never blame a tight head. Tight heads are never. It's a tough one because, like, tight heads have got to paint good pictures when loose heads have got weird angles to work with, and it's all a bit less. Really. Both packs are scrummaging legally. When you've got two packs that want to scrummage legally, most of them don't tend to go down. But when one's trying to play funny buggers, then it can go either way. So I can't give points on what to watch out for. I would say if they both look quite steady, then they're both doing a good job.
So,
Awesome, cheers.
So who's the worst team to scrummage against? And by that I mean who plays funny buggers the most?
Oh God, throw him in there. I'd like to say Ospreys.
Good man. There we go.
Yes.
Got funny buggers in there who like to take corners and try have different angles in the scrum and have a bit of a hit and chase mentality. But you know, it's not just the Ospreys. Any team that you come up against, like, and take like teams I've been involved in, like if you feel like you're on the back foot, then you have to change something to try get the upper hand.
Makes sense.
I've always wanted to ask. Sorry, guys. I've always wanted to ask an international prop list. So, like, say you're at the end of a half or the end of a game, and there's a scrum, and you're in the lead, and you know a couple of resets here, the clock will go dead, and we can kick it out. Do you think you could? Yeah, I can do you 3 resets here, no worries. Do you think you could do that?
You mean legally?
Without getting penalised?
On our ball or their ball? Sorry.
Your own ball?
No, I don't think so. No, not with the refs these days. They're pretty hot on like scrums these days. Like I'd say 2-3 seasons ago, maybe you could get away with it, but not now because the refs have like classes and stuff to what they look out for in scrums. So I don't think now in these days you wouldn't be able to. No. See,
I told you Hugh wasn't a prop. I told you Hugh didn't have a clue what was going on in a scrum. He just looks at it and he goes, "There's a whole bunch of boys having a hug."
So this is good because there's loads of people like me who've got no idea what they're on about.
Well, all you've got to do is join the club and have a go yourself.
Mate, most people in a scrum haven't got a clue what's going on in a scrum anyway.
No,
it just happens, doesn't it?
Props and hookers know what's going on, and that's about it. Not even the back.
I can agree with that. So, Javan, you are potentially borderlining one of the top international fight heads, you know, in the UK, potentially even worldwide at the minute. Who would you say is the toughest loose head you've ever come up against?
Oh God. Like I said, this season it's been the Clement Lucid. He was really good. Not too sure how to pronounce his name, so don't ask me. While I was growing up, Wyn Jones was obviously in his prime. I'm not saying he's not in his prime anymore, but he was a really, really strong Lucid to scrummage against. Who else? Pierce Schumann at Edinburgh, really strong.
Don't have to worry about him no more.
No, I'm with him now, so that's all right.
He looks good since his haircut, doesn't he? I prefer him with the short hair.
Yeah, he looks a bit harder, doesn't he?
Haircuts is a bit of a thing for us, Stephen, because it's the amount of you boys that are playing now that have got haircuts that would have just not been allowed back in my day when we were playing. There'd have been so many fines after the game. You'd have just gone, nah, that's going, like, you know. But you boys get away with it, like, you know. Yeah,
there's some dodgy haircuts about in there. Like even I've got one. I've got a rat's tail, but that was just because of lockdown. I grew my hair in lockdown, and I just decided to keep something. But
I wasn't going to say, I'm sure you got a rat's tail. Have you still got it? But you still there.
Yeah, I've still got it. Something to remember COVID. I think that's where the dodgy haircut started. It was during COVID, and boys just
got
bored and cutting their hair, and just decided to keep it.
Don Francis has always had a dodgy haircut.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
He's letting you boys down. The Tight Dead Club, come on.
Were you at the Scarlets when Steph Evans decided to have his monstrosity of a haircut?
Oh, we can see the hair.
Yeah. And like that, remember we had like that half mullet, like one side of it was done, but the other side wasn't. Like,
I'm sure he still has a mullet and a rat's tail. I'm not too sure.
He does. We talk about it every week.
Yeah.
It's good that we've got an international prop on and we're talking about haircuts. So I like that.
Yeah. Not the best one to talk to about haircuts, saying I need a haircut now.
So talk to me about kind of growing up and playing the game, and so what was your journey like? From when was the first time you touched a ball, and who influenced you and all of that kind of stuff?
My main influence was, I would say, Anthony Maynard, probably. I don't know if you guys know Jack Maynard and Scott Maynard. They play semi-pro for Llandovery.
Yeah, yeah.
So that their dad, he used to take me training, and obviously my mum and that didn't really see like a career in rugby, so they tended not to take me training. So I had to jump in with Jack and Scott, and they used to drag me along to training, and yeah, down at the Athletic.
And how much? So when you're coming up through the ranks and all of that point, at what point did you go, do you know what, being a pro is a real, it's a real opportunity here?
I think I was quite young. It was like district level, I'd say. So our district was run by Roy Burgess.
Yeah, he still runs it now.
Yeah. And he pulled me aside for a chat one day, and he just like sat me down, and he was like, "Look, you've got the talent. I'm a professional rugby player. You keep your head down and work hard." So yeah, I think from then I really thought, yeah, maybe I'll give it a go.
It's surprising how, as a coach, how influential your words can be on a player, isn't it? Just especially at that formative age where somebody just says, "Do you know what, son, you could really go for something here," isn't it?
Yeah, it gives you a massive confidence boost, especially at that age. Like coaches like Roy, who's been around, he's British and Irish Lion. He sees potential in you, then surely he can't be that wrong.
And he's still doing it now, isn't he? He's still pulling players aside and going, "Son, you could do this." So
yeah.
How, when you've gone through that level then and you get into kind of the Scarlets level, what was that first contract like? What was that signing that first contract? Talk us through all of that bit where you go from, "Do you know what, I'm a normal player." Were you with Quins or were you Llandovery? And then you
I was with the Quins. So I'd been playing there I was with Quins. I signed academy contract first with the Scarlets. So again, Jack and Scott's dad, Anthony, took me in to sign my first contract, actually, because my mum wasn't able to take me. So he came along, he sat down with me and Kev George, and yeah, we signed it there. And I was in the academy for, I think, 4 years maybe. Then I was released the year Josh Adams was released.
Oh, you were in the same kind of year group?
Yeah, so I was in the academy with, so it was me, Josh Adams, Ryan Elias, Josh Helps, so that kind of year. And
so being released then, and then coming back, how do you motivate yourself to go from, just because being released it's an awful kind of thing to happen, but what goes through your head to get yourself back to where you are now?
It was quite tough, actually, because I got released from the Scarlets, and then I got picked up by Glasgow Warriors back in 2016. I went there for a year, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I can give this a go." And then I found out my ex-partner was pregnant with my eldest child, so I decided to pack up and go back to Wales from Glasgow. I then thought, I worked in Castle Butchery for a good old few months, and then I was like, "Oh God, I can't be doing this." So yeah, I just tried after that, and then obviously I got a shot back at the Scarlets after playing a season with the Quins. And I thought, yeah, this is a turning point now. I really got to put my foot down, and that's when I signed the professional contract, and it's been uphill since then.
That's fantastic, because we know there's a lot of young boys out there that listen to this, and when they hear a pro talking about this, is it's not a straight line, is it? It's not a straight, I go here, I pick up a ball, and then 5 years later I'm playing for the Scarlets. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of rejection and all that kind of stuff in it. So
oh yeah, straightforward now. There's like you got to be prepared for somebody to actually tell you no, or sometimes say, look, you're not good enough to play, or you know what, go away and do this, and then maybe in a year or two you'll be ready. You just take that on the chin and learn to adapt and develop and try come back stronger.
Absolutely. So talking about coming back stronger then, next week is Edinburgh Scarlets, or Scarlets Edinburgh is down with us, isn't it? On Friday night, I think it is. So your thoughts, anticipation for that game then?
I've been looking forward to that game since it got announced. I was hoping to play in it, but obviously I'm out injured at the moment, so it was a bit gutting. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Edinburgh get on with the Scars, because obviously last year when I was at the Scarlets, that was a good win for us boys against Edinburgh. So hopefully now being with Edinburgh, we can turn them tides and get a win for Edinburgh.
And are you planning on travelling down and catching up with a few old friends, or are you going to watch from a distance and keep your head down?
I'm going to try watch from a distance. I think I was down over Christmas, caught up with a few mates, down to see some family, some of my partner's family. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep training, keep trying my best to put my hand up for Six Nations selection. Yeah, just keep training hard and watch from a distance.
And keep your heads down, because you know what the Scarlet supporters can be like for the opposition as well, isn't it? Well, I'm sure if you did come down, you'd have a very warm welcome, because you're very popular with a lot of supporters, particularly the Carmarthen boys. You're a bit of well, they're your fanboys, put it that way. There's a lot of Carmarthen big fans. So, Mart, Hugh, have you got anything before we finish up?
I've got one, and I don't mind if you want to cut this or whatever. But you went with Scotland in 21, and you know I have always felt that you were slightly underappreciated when you were with the Scarlets, and I have got no doubt in my mind if you didn't have a Scotland cap, you would have been in South Africa with Wales in 2022. Do you have any regrets in choosing Scotland and not leaving that open for Wales?
No, not really. No, look, Scotland ranked, I don't know, where are we, 5th in the world, is it?
I think it's 6th since the World Cup, because England have fluked their way back up to 5th.
Yeah, that's it. Something around there. But look, I had a sit down with, I can't remember who it was, but they spoke about me playing for Wales, and I think Wayne was in charge at that point of Wales, and Wayne basically said to me, "You're quite far down the pecking order if the chance were to ever come." So that made my mind up from then. Like, as soon as I got that call for Scotland, I had no doubt that I was going to jump straight on it, because they seen something in me that obviously the Welsh coach at the time didn't. So yeah, no regrets for me.
And another era for the Pivot era.
Yeah.
Cool. Hugh, have you got anything before we round up?
No, I've gotten all my my stupid questions in, so I'm happy now.
Have you worked out how to be a prop yet, Hugh?
No, but I don't think I ever will. I don't think that's Javan's fault.
It'll take you years, mate. I still don't even know.
Fantastic. Well, Javan, thank you for your time today, mate. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you. And if you ever are down in the area, give us a shout, because Martin's very generous with buying ex-players beer behind the bar. Are you, Mark? Isn't that right?
No comment.
I'll do it.
Fantastic. Well, mate, we wish you all the best for the rest of the season, and all the best for international squad selection next week, because fingers crossed on that one for you. Thank you for your time today, mate. You've been absolutely superb. And yeah, all the very best. Thanks very much.
All the best week, boys.
Yeah,
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Scarlets Fever podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, rate and review wherever you listen to us, as it really helps us spread the word. You can find us on all the usual social media channels or email us on welshregionalrugbypod@gmail.com. And remember, whatever the question, rugby is always the answer.
Sports Social Podcast Network.